Hundreds on me stuff, I'ma run it up. She gon' give it up. I'm like, what is love? Remember I was broke, ain't nobody give a fuck. Hated on a stand, now they love us cause we...
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So I hope you enjoyed watching that fake drone takeoff I tried to make there in the intro. That's just kind of what it has to be until I decide to buy a real one, but that's not what this video is about. Today, what I want to talk to you guys about is just a simple summer shred program that anyone out there can do. Since summer is right around the corner, this is the perfect time to try to introduce this and try to kind of plan ahead to see that we can be ready for summer and be ready to hit the beach. But don't worry, I'm not going to try to sell you guys anything here today. I'm just going to be giving you some simple information that anybody can do no matter what your fitness level is, no matter what your preference is, and no matter what your really end goal is. You're just trying to look good for summer, look good at the beach, and just build a better physique and help get one step closer to that. So if you consider dropping a like and smashing that subscribe button on this channel, I'd really appreciate that. So without any further ado, I think it's time to run that intro, then we're going to dive straight into this video.
Every corner twice as bright, they'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights.
Alright, we're going to dive straight into this video, and the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is diet. And the thing is, it would be absolute blasphemy for me to make a summer shredding video and not mention a caloric deficit, right? So the thing is, how exactly should you execute that caloric deficit, and how should you ease into that, and how is this going to bring you your success? Well, the thing is, you're going to need to have a caloric deficit of about 250 to 500 calories, and you can kind of experiment within this range to see exactly what works for you. But the best thing to do is not to just go straight to that 500, like in hopes of making things go faster, because the reality is your body does not really adapt that quickly, so it's not very a wise thing to do to just dive straight into this all in at once. Rather, the thing to do would be to start off with a lower caloric deficit, say around 250 or even a bit below 250, depending on what you had been doing before this, and just kind of easing your way and experimenting and just kind of seeing how your body responds to all of these different changes that you're trying to make within your diet. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the training that you guys should be doing later on in the video, but just for the time being, since we're outside, I'm going to continue to talk a little about the diet and just how important that is when it comes to losing fat. Because the thing is, in addition to this caloric deficit that you're going to have to maintain throughout this cutting period, which can last anywhere between 1 month and 3 months, which is exactly what I would recommend. I wouldn't really recommend going any more or less than that, because the results just won't really be worth the time and worth the effort at that point. And the thing is, with your diet, you don't just want to be eating any type of food. Just because you eat, 3 hamburgers a day, and that only comes out to about maybe 1,500 calories out of your 2,000 calorie maintenance, that's not how you should try to maintain this caloric deficit. The thing is, you need to be wise with everything that you do here, and you need to try to keep the type of foods that you include in your diet as clean and as natural as possible. So try to stay away from processed food, try to avoid sugar, and try to avoid anything that's just considered unhealthy in general, because this is not really going to do you any favors when it comes to maintaining that muscle mass and also losing that fat and having a consistent cut that is successful in the end. So this caloric deficit that you guys are going to want to maintain throughout this entire cutting period is what's going to be responsible for most of the progress that ends up happening here. So if you have a deficit of just in the right place, it's possible to lose up to 1 pound of body fat per week if you're doing this wisely. But the thing is, if it kind of slows down at any point, or you're not really seeing the desired results that you want to, don't get discouraged. The thing is, this is a long process, and even a few months, you could end up seeing a lot of difference. So if you end up like taking progress photos or just anything that kind of allows you to take your progress from not just 1 day at a time, but rather 1 week at a time, or even 1 month at a time, then it's going to allow you to stay motivated to do this. And you're going to see that you actually are getting results when you maybe just looking at yourself day to day in the mirror, you're not really seeing any change. The whole thing about this is you just have to be patient, and you have to be consistent with what it is that you're doing here. So I can't stress how important it is to have a solid diet here. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many hours you spend in the gym, how much cardio you do, you just can't out-train a bad diet. And just remember that you always have to try to shoot for that 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein every single day, just to be sure that you're maintaining that muscle mass that you work so hard to put on during that bulk. And the thing is, if you are able to keep up with this, then you'll definitely see those results, and no matter how slow it may be. And the thing is, if you don't plan this wisely and you don't try to stay committed to your protein intake and to all of your training, keeping everything dialed in, then it's it's extremely possible that you could end up losing a lot of the gains that you work so hard to make here. And I definitely wouldn't want that to happen, and I know for sure that you wouldn't want that to happen. So being sure that you keep your diet in focus and trying to keep that protein intake to that 1 gram per pound of body weight, and you're also trying to have your carbs at right about the same ratio to the protein, and the fats, they don't really matter as much, to be honest, but both of these are very important to our natural bodily needs every single day, and to keep your testosterone levels high and keep just everything in balance. Because just if you think about skipping out on carbs or skipping out on fats going to get you shredded for summer, that's just not the case. Everything has to have a balance here, and everything just needs to be in check if you really want to reach those goals. Alright everyone, so welcome to another episode of Vlogging with 2 Cameras, and the topic of the day is getting shredded for summer. And the thing is, I know I've talked about caloric deficits on here before, and I know you guys have probably heard that a million times from a million other different people. But the thing is, don't you think that if so many people said it and so many people tried it, that it would be true? But the thing is, it's not just about how many calories you eat every day, it's also about what you decide to consume. So just because you eat any type of food that you want to, but you still hit that caloric goal for the day, it doesn't mean that that's how you're supposed to maintain this deficit, and that's not how you're going to get shredded for summer. The thing is, you need to still keep up with your vitamin intake, so you need to eat vegetables, you need to eat fruit, you need to eat sources of lean protein such as fish and meat, chicken. You also need to try to shoot for some healthy carbs such as rice and stuff like this. So just try to keep a balanced diet no matter what it is that you're doing, and still try to keep your fat intake and your carb intake also up to the standard. Don't just think because you're skipping out on one macronutrient that you're gonna end up losing fat and you're gonna look amazing by the time the summer comes. So that's just not true. But the thing is, you just need to stay consistent with whatever it is that you're doing, and you just need to stay on top of everything, be patient, and you will get there for sure. I think it's about time to go inside and hit the gym, hit my workout for the day. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the training and what you guys should kind of expect and what you guys should try to do to help get this goal going and to look great for summer. And by the way, I'm also going to shoot for a couple new PRs in the gym, so be sure to stay tuned. Let's hit this, and let's go back inside now because it's starting to get a little hot out here.
Hundreds on me stuff, I'ma run it up. She gon' give it up. I'm like, what is love? Remember I was broke and nobody.
Alright man, so we're here in the gym now. I'm hitting my workout right now for the day. And since we're here, I think it's just a perfect time to start talking about some training that you guys can fit in for that summer shredding program. So the thing is about this, a lot of people kind of think that if you're losing fat, you're in that caloric deficit, then isn't it easy to kind of start to lose that muscle mass that you've been putting on during your bulk as well? Well, the answer to that is yes, it can be if you don't program it specifically and you're not very strategic with the way that you bulk. But what I'm about to share with you right now is going to help you a ton with maintaining that muscle mass that you worked hard to put on. So one thing that I kind of hear a lot when people are making that shift from a bulk to a cut, that they're going to go from training from a strength point of view, from mostly low reps with a high amount of weight, and all of a sudden they're going to go to a hypertrophy approach. And a lot of people think this is what burns fat, is because you kind of lower the weight and you take the reps up, and this kind of increases the volume. So a lot of people think that this is what's going to help burn fat, but it does. It kind of does help burn fat, it's true. But on the other hand, don't you want to maintain all of that muscle mass that you've been working hard to put on up until this point? Well, if you do, then that's exactly why I recommend that you try to keep everything the same, because if you're focusing on these compound lifts like you definitely should be doing, no matter what your goal is, the thing is, if you're benching, squatting, and deadlifting X amount of pounds or X amount of kilos, then during your cut you should try to maintain that as much as you can, because this is what's going to allow that muscle to realize that it still needs to be used for strength rather than being used for fuel when your body's trying to decide between burning fat, burning carbs, and burning muscle. Because this is what your body kind of tends to do when you make a dramatic shift like this. It kind of gets confused and it's not really exactly sure how to adapt at first, but once it starts to figure out what's going on, then you kind of have to use this to your advantage in what you're planning on doing with your training and with your diet. Alright, so with that being said, I think it's about time to hit that workout for today. So what I've got here, I've got to hit up a bench press first, and I'm going to go for a new PR. I've got 155 pounds set up there, and I'm going to hit it for 4 sets of 8 reps. My previous PR was 4 sets of 6, and today I'm going to be shooting for 4 sets of 8. The next up, I'm going to try to hit a new PR on the deadlift as well. I'm going to be shooting for that first 200-pound deadlift, and I had been doing 195 for 4 sets of 6 reps, and it's been going really well lately, so I'm going to really try to hit that 200 today, and we're going to see how that goes. So it's about time to hit that music, get it going, let's hit this workout.
Through that disguise, but when you got close to me, close
So successfully hit both PRs, not a problem at all. Feel super good about that one. I've been shooting for that 200-pound deadlift for the longest time. Now that I've finally hit that, I feel super good about that. So the thing is, the last thing I wanted to discuss with you guys about this summer shredding program is the cardio. And the thing is, I've heard a lot of people talking about that it's possible to get shredded and to burn a lot of body fat without doing any cardio at all. And this is actually true. If you have enough of a caloric deficit and you're able to maintain this and keep your protein intake high, then you don't have to necessarily do any cardio at all. But the thing is, if you want to have a high endurance and a high stamina and always have that level of functionality with your training, then I also definitely would recommend that you do some cardio. In addition to that, it also speeds up the fat loss process, so it's going to kind of make it that much quicker and that much more efficient for you. So there definitely is a lot of benefits to doing cardio, and I would actually recommend that you do it as well. But like I said, it's not absolutely necessary. You can make your own decision when it comes to this. So as far as which type of cardio that you should really do between high intensity interval training, moderate intensity cardio, or low intensity steady state cardio, the choice is really yours. All of these can be very effective when it comes to fat loss and preserving muscle, and there are a few that are best when it comes to preserving muscle. But the thing is, as long as you're doing some type of cardio and the ratio of the cardio that you do to the amount of strength training that you do every week is less cardio to more strength training, then I think you're going to be alright. So take for example, if you strength train like me 3 days per week, then I would recommend that you keep your cardio to either 1 or 2 days per week just to keep that balance going. But I'm going to do future videos on which type of cardio is the best for preserving muscle mass, but as the time is, I think just doing that ratio, keeping that in mind, and also just being consistent with all of this caloric deficit, keeping your strength training the same, and just keeping everything going at an even pace, and that's definitely going to get the job done for you. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video today, and just as a recap, make sure you've got a healthy, balanced diet with that small 250 to 500 caloric deficit, along with your strength training anywhere from 2 to 6 days per week, and your strength training with that, make sure that you keep it exactly the same. Try to lift the same amount of weight that you were when you were bulking, and just try to keep the routine as intact as you possibly can get it to be throughout your cutting phase. And for cardio, it's not absolutely necessary, but once again, you can include some short cardio and some more balanced forms of cardio that could help to manage out that endurance and also kind of take that fat loss process up to the next level. So I hope you guys found this video really helpful. I hope you had fun watching this, and I hope you guys are really enjoying all this content lately. Like I said, I'm trying to change things up a bit on this channel, so let me know down in the comments what you think about this. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I appreciate you, man. So if you do me a quick favor and consider hitting that subscribe button, also dropping me a like down below, I'd really appreciate all of that. I really appreciate all your guys' support, so thank you very much. I'll catch all of you guys next time. Remember, I drop brand new videos every Wednesday, every Sunday. Come back here, you know where to find me. So until next time, stay fit, stay hungry, have fun, enjoy of course, and just continue working, continue that hustle. I'll see all of you guys next time. Peace out.